Get free express access to skip the regular lines at most Universal attractions here and here.
What you gonna do today? 'Cause I'm gonna get a fly girl.
it's on and on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. I said a M-A-S, a T-E-R, a G with a double E. I said I go by the unforgettable name of the man they call the Master G. Well, my name is known all over the world by all the foxy ladies and the pretty girls. I'm going down in history as the best rapper that ever could be. Now I'm feeling the highs and you're feeling the lows. The beat starts getting into your toes. You start popping your fingers and stomping your feet and moving your body while you're sitting and you're sitting. Then damn, you start doing the freak. I said damn, right out of your seat there, you throw your hands high in the air. You're rocking to the rhythm, you can dare me air. You're rocking to the beat without a kid. With the short shot MCs for the affair. Now I'm not as tall as the rest of the gang, but I rap to the beat just the same. I got a little face and a pair of rhyme. All I'm here to do, ladies, is hypnotize. Singing on and on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. I sing it on and on and on and on and on like a hot butter. The bop, the bop, the bop, the rhythm, the bop, the bop, bop. You don't dare stop or come alive, yo. Give me what you got. I guess by now you can take a hunch and find that I am the baby of the bunch, but that's okay. I still keep it strong, cause all I'm here to do is just a wiggle your behind. Sing it on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. Sing it on and on and on and on and on. Rock, yo, until on the floor. I'm gonna freak you here, I'm gonna freak you there. I'm gonna move you out of this atmosphere, cause I'm one of a kind and I'll shock your mind with the kick, cause in your behind. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, come on, girl. I get on the floor, come on, girl. Give me what you got, cause I'm guaranteed to make you rock. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, tell me what the mic, what are you waiting for? To the hip, hop, the hip, to the hip, and the hip, the hop, and you don't stop. Rock it to the bang, make the boogie say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Let's get a bebop, we rock a Scooby-Doo, and guess what? America, we love you, because you're rocking a roll with us so much so. You can rock till you're 101 years old. I don't mean to brag, I don't mean to boast, but we're like hot butter on a breakfast toast. Rock it out, a big bubba to the boogie to bang, bang, the boogie to the beat, beat. It's so unique, come on, everybody, and dance to the beat.
Welcome back. Once again, I am your host, Teresa Midnight Schuler. Thank you for tuning in all the way live from your electronic device in your living room or in the palm of your hands. Welcome to Civil Unrest. This production has been brought to you by no other than Krell's Charles Media, Generation Verb, the New Rican Poets Cafe, and Lower Manhattan Cultural Council. We thank all y'all for helping us bring this production here for you live right now. For those who understand what civil unrest is this. I'll give you more about that. You don't know what it is, then we can't be friends. We can't be friends. I don't know, we can't be friends. But you're gonna hear a collective of poets from all different walks of life, different areas, backgrounds. They're gonna tell you their stories, give you examples of civil unrest, and it's gonna be a beautiful show. I want you to type in on your computers, your cell phones, wherever you're at, Put us your emojis, give us your black fist, your hand, jazz hands, whatever it is. Show us your enthusiasms. I want to feel that energy through your electronic waves. I can feel it right now. I can feel it right now. So, usually no one likes going up first and doing a poem, but I'm gonna do a poem first to rock out, to get everything started, to get all the energy flowing. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? Y'all with me? That makes noise. So, most important thing when it comes to doing poetry and understanding who you are as a person is identity. And the first part of identity is your name. And if anyone ever messes up your name, you have the right to correct them on spot. Yo, my name is, wherever your name is, put in the link. So, true story. My mom wanted to name me Kunta Kinte. True story. However, my aunt immediately stepped in. She fierce aside trying to make me the Toby. My aunt named me Tarishi. Tarishi, which is Swahili for messenger. I guess my family wanted to give me a name that remind me where we came from. We live in a generation that gentrification has some people bleaching their skin, so they forget next to kin were Africans. You have some Africans bleaching their skin, so they forget the names came and baked under the sun. My name comes from a place that believes in a proverb. It takes a village to raise a child. I believe it takes a plan to shape an identity. I won't apologize. You don't understand my euphemisms. Your world is too small for me. I think outside your bubble or your box where the senses can be fit in doesn't make sense. Since race is not the more systematic way of existing in the first place. Human. I was born on the east coast of America, the name that came from the east coast of Africa. My journey was forever. Learning that my name is not safe. Learning my name was born out of struggle. Learning my name can be translated to, boy, looking to lost yourself. Learning that my name is not safe. Starting in 8th grade, when a classmate called me Hershey, he found it difficult to pronounce Tarishi. I told you, I hate cubicle shapes. I should not allow someone to easily marginalize my life to fit inside boxes of chocolates. If you could allow your English teachers to colonize your tongue so you can speak Stanislavski, learn Da Vinci, Sikorsky, learn to say Tarishi. It's easy. It's only 7 letters. T-A-R-I-S-H-I. It's really an acronym for Transatlantic Refugee, individually seeking human independence. I should allow someone to try to change my name into a dessert, since my ancestors already made course with the sharks in the middle of the passage. The question was asking me, why would I call myself Midnight? If Hollywood ever made a movie about me, no matter how much I whitewash my history, you'll always taste the melanin in my pseudonym. I have learned that your name is not safe. Once you discover the translation, you are accountable responsibility. It carries. My name means messenger. I am to deliver more than just these poems. There's a moral compass attached to it. I am more character than 26 letters of the alphabet. My aunt prophesied me into a martyr. No one admires the bearer of bad news, especially when it's the truth. My mouth is a bullseye waiting for the shotgun blast to silence me. How many gods message me crucified for you realize I'm here to bring the word? Might not be the author of it. If I be both, then I may be bipolar, ambidextrous. A black man that refuses to be silent is dangerous. A black man that chooses to be silent is still dangerous. My mom wanted to give me a name that reminds me of my roots. My aunt wanted to give me a name that reminds my oppressors. Even if you colonize our language, you can never colonize our purpose. Woo! So, that is actually a true story. So those who don't know, I was born in 1976 when Alice Haley came out with the book Roots, and around then, everybody wanted to give their child an African name, and my mom was like, yo, let's name him Kunta Kinte, because my mom was born, and she was going to really name me Kunta Kinte. My aunt stepped in and was like, no, we're not going to name him Kunta Kinte. So she found a book of African names, and she came and looked into the book, and she came across Tarishi, which is my birthday today. And ironically, I ended up becoming a poet before I even knew what the meaning of my name was. I didn't know what my name was until I was in my 30s. And then right now, I'm in my early 20s. So yeah, I got the case of the digital button on. Y'all peep that, right? Y'all peep I did this. Y'all peep that. Anyway, so So if you have a name that someone always messing up, you have the right to correct them on spot. Say, no. This is how you say my name, because they always want to make you pronounce the names correctly from someone that you read in your history textbook, no matter where they're from. So they have the right. If they're gonna tell you how to pronounce someone's names correctly, they have the right to know how to make your name and how to say it properly. So, are you ready to get this show going on? Are you ready to hear some poets that are gonna get on the stage? They're gonna disrupt the environment, cause some chaos, some anarchy. Nah, I'm joking. It's gonna be peaceful. We're gonna do this nice and proper like. So, who we got coming up next? My man, the boss, the man. Are you ready? The myth, the legend. Brooklyn all day. You gonna do this? Yo! So this is like running joke, right? So I put this little video up on Instagram, and it's like me in the cliffs, like doing like on the edge of the cliffs, and I'm saying, and it's like Bane talking. It says, "You merely adopted the dog. I was born in it." So this gentleman comes up. He always keeps teasing me and saying, "You merely adapted Brooklyn. I was born in it." I'm trying to get my ratification to be a Brooklyn resident, I was like, to live out here, you know what I'm saying? Those that know, Brooklyn's the planet. So, all right, no further ado, I want to bring out to the stage this next brother, good friend, powerful poem. He's gonna disrupt the environment. It's gonna be like him, like Spike Lee, you know what I'm saying, throwing a trash can through the front. No, make some noise for Kayo!
All right, so the poem I'm going to do is called Monsters. And it's basically a poem about teaching my daughter about the realities of the world. Daddy, the tooth fairy gave me $5, Daddy. Daddy, can I take a picture of Santa Claus, Daddy? Daddy, there's a monster in the dark, Daddy. Tell me more about Black history, Daddy. You see, I promised my baby girl that I would never tell her no lies, no disguises. Never will I pull the wool over her eyes, no surprises. Straight up, brutal, honest truth. Please be advised that life isn't always merry and not filled with cherry pies. So, at my parental discretion, I proceeded to answer her questions, giving her lessons were blessings that she needed and heeded way before her adolescence. So, baby girl, you will learn through your experiences and the emotions that you feel. Through life's myths and mysteriousness, there are things that will appear but are not real. For in America, they will feed you such edible words, fairy tales from here to heaven, all kinds of credible absurds that will turn such myths to legend. And if you're not meticulous, you'll be believing in such ridiculous things, like apes who can talk, and fish who can walk, and ponies that fly without wings. Ponies that fly without wings, Daddy? Seriously? So silly be that anomaly, baby, but Daddy's not trying to be funny. And since we're here, the tooth fairy is mommy, baby. We don't trade cash for teeth, honey. But due to this economy, baby, make sure you hold on to that money. And I'm gonna tell you this calmly, baby, there isn't an Easter bunny. If you would have seen the look on her face, the horror, the surprise, but I promised my baby girl that I would never tell her no lies. So with extreme trepidation, hesitation, and pause, I answered her question when she asked, but what about Santa Claus? Baby, are we to believe in a white, bearded, big-bellied man named Santa, who traveled to 1 billion homes around the world in one night? I mean, could he even make it past Atlanta? We must be prepared to say this story is engineered. I mean, honey, have we ever seen a flying reindeer? Without wings, Daddy. Yes, baby, without wings. And after all that was said and done that night, I was quite confident she got the gist. But that night she screamed she saw monsters in the dark as if there were gorillas in the mist. I thought since we spoke of what was not real, she would have added monsters to the list. No need to be afraid of the dark, my love. Monsters don't exist. And she felt safe. And life goes on with more questions for her to ask and more lessons for her to learn, more concepts for her to grasp and more trust for me to earn. So we moved on from fairy tales, imaginative beings of mystery. Moved on to what was real, and in school they were talking about Black history. Excited was my flow, for at her age I didn't know that they taught this. So I told her about the 4 M's of Black history: Medgar, Malcolm, Martin, and Marcus. I continued on with Fannie Lou Hamer, Shirley Chisholm, and great old Harriet T. For she needed to know the greatness of Black women that she will future be. I went on with Harriet Tubman, and let me tell you, she was fascinated. Then came the hard questions. Daddy, how come Medgar, Malcolm, and Martin was assassinated? She knows what assassinated means. There comes a time when life's mentality no longer thrives on being cute. They come face to face with an undoubted fallacy, for they cannot find the proof. No more fairy tales, false fantasies threaded within our youth. For there is a harsh reality that's embedded within the truth. You see, how do I tell my baby girl that sometimes there are more guns than roses? How do I tell her about evil forces with burning crosses and water hoses? I want to tell her about her ancestors that refused to kneel on stubborn knees. But how do I tell her of roots and strange fruit that hung from southern trees? It is the evil. It is the evil that men do that has me thinking like this. Because now I have to tell my baby girl that yes, monsters do exist. How do I tell her? How do I tell her that they exist more than just in the corners of our minds, based on society's fears, and they vary within the times? How do I tell her that they exist, not in fairy tales, but in the realness of the night, within a socio-political construct that peaks at racial anger's plight? They exist as an abomination through the echoes of eternity, through the smuggling of slaves, through a swastika Germany. They exist within places where racism stays systemic still, in the broken noses of Kemet to the broken bones of Emmett Till. They exist in present day. On a southern night you may see the most, under the sheets of the KKKA. Some say they look like ghosts. Honey, forget about flying ponies, reindeers, or even unicorns. There could be a monster out that door with a badge, a gun, and a blue uniform. And those monsters exist in a world where conspicuous has to be me. Where stop and frisk, we got sick of this like syphilis and Tuskegee. Those monsters, those creations, when at night you see their dark side, they reek of segregation, for they dwell in the bowels of apartheid. Our grandparents used to make us nervous as they warned us through urges. Don't go out late at night, for the monster's head emerges. Stay inside, run and hide, for your life you cannot purchase. This is a place where brothers die when white women clutch their purses. I am a lion, and in the land of the eagle they conduct illegal searches. No telling where, no telling how the monster will resurface. How do I tell my of-age daughter beware of where the monster surges? Don't wear a hoodie in Sanford, Florida, or dwell in South Carolina churches. Don't drive a car in Wheeler County, Texas, for what they do to women of color you wouldn't believe. And if you see a monster in Staten Island or Minnesota, you might not be able to breathe. How? How do I tell her all of this in a land that's supposed to be more stable, where monsters are supposed to be trapped within fairy tales and fables, ambitiously fictitious like Anne of Green Gables, not spoken of in newspapers or on dinner tables? How? How do we tell our sons and daughters? It must take some kind of art. How do we explain the insane without tearing their world apart? Well, I looked my daughter straight in the eye, and I told her straight from the heart, yes, my love, monsters do exist, but they're the ones afraid of the dark.
Yo, put your hands together one more time for my brother Kayo. Yo, that's one of my favorite poems. I'm not gonna tell you the story, but one day me and him was having a slam in the classroom, and for my students, he had to kick that poem for the students. You know, I let him get the W. I let him get the W because he was visiting to my classroom, because I don't want to take away his shine, because I'm there with students every day. But yo, give some props, put some hands together one more time, make some noise for Kayo, and give us that wonderful poem. So those out there, y'all probably wondering, I said civil unrest is, if you don't know what that means, we can't be friends. Nah, but some of y'all probably Googled what civil unrest is, but just in case you didn't Google it, you want to know what civil unrest is. Civil unrest is an event, an incident which disrupts the community, which requires intervention to maintain public safety. Example of civil unrest would be riots, demonstrations, strikes, criminal activities. And what you might think of me or someone that's trying to that might be doing some criminal activity, think about this. What's more unjust, what's more criminal than not giving someone their civil rights? What's more criminal than someone not being treated justly? Hey, I just want to be treated equally. It's just like you, human to human. That's all I'm saying. But let's keep the program going. Give you some more poetry, because we're not going to do anything criminal. The only thing criminal I hear we're going to be doing is slinging some words. You hear me? Boom, bang. All the way here from the New York Poets Cafe live. So, for those who understand how civil unrest is, how racism works, maybe this might give you a little help. Sit back, you're home watching TV, you're watching Zoom, you in between the channels, you turn the TV off, you focus on this, in between commercials. Oh, now we return back to coverage of ESPN as we follow and keep up with other fronts. By definition, a bicycle is a vehicle with two wheels in tandem. I can't stand them damn things. I mean, look at them. They always in the way when I'm driving. Streets were paved for cars, not these bicycles to be riding. Now, someone decided to give their own lane. What type of affirmative action is this, trying to integrate bicycles into a system made for cars? I digress. I wonder, is this what America thinks of us? Am I nothing more than just a bicycle being integrated into a system? Nah, I don't know about that. I do know I feel a sense of entitlement. Every time I get behind a steering wheel, this adrenaline rush of road rage. Every time I see a bicycle, I want to choke and squeeze the air out of his tires so they scream, I can't breathe. Leave that bicycle laying flat on the concrete in front of a bodega and a couple of cigarettes. Someone needs to remind them of the privilege and the white lines on the black asphalt. Let that bicycle get my blind spot one more time. It reminds me of the first bicycle I ever stole. Never made it back to his master. Wait! A bicycle has two wheels in tandem. My world rotates on two hemispheres. Between being African, American, shifting forward progression, pedaling backwards, go nowhere Negro, gear switching, spinning. You'll see bicycle lanes in the ghetto. They know better. Ride at your own risk. Switching, spinning, switching, spinning. I don't have time about this. The fact is, these bicycles running wild and free. You need to go back to where they came from, hanging on a rack. Wheels dangling, two pedals attached to a slave chain. Once I pop neck of that chain, that bicycle will move until I say so. How that saying goes? Once you learn about a bicycle, they never forget. They think they're equal to us drivers. By definition, you have the vehicle I ride. Those extra wheels in the beginning, that's to train you. Watch, rip those limbs off. See me time the bicycle fall for help. It's okay. Don't worry. It's hard to break a bicycle. They're designed to take a beating. All colored metal frame attached to a chain. The system is doing just fine. Doing design, keep those bicycles in line. You should be grateful. You, don't worry about getting lost in the traffic jams. Don't let this rush hour remind you that it feels like to be seen, not heard. You should be thankful. I'm sure it wrote life for you. You're considerate, indignant, and grateful bike. Oh my God. Seatbelt check. Do I really sound like that one driver trying to convince myself racism doesn't exist? Every time I say, I'm not a racist, I really like bicycles. As a matter of fact, I even own one. So usually I walk off stage for a dramatic effect. All right, now I'm back. Next. I feel the vibes. I feel the vibe. I feel the energy. Yes, I see. I do my thing. I got 4 eyes and some on the side. So y'all ready for the next poet? Y'all ready? This next poet, all the way from Trenton. 6 bro. 6 bro. I don't know. I might get checked for that. There might be some fighting for that. Somebody said no. Anyway. So, yo, this wonderful, amazing human being, I had the pleasure of working with her many times. Traveled to colleges, helped direct a play. She was part of Her Story. Oh, we did so many things, like so many different shows. Was that college you went to? You toured in Virginia. I can't. JMU. Boom. Yep, James Madison University. Yo, I can't wait to bring her on stage. Yo, y'all gonna love her because she's like ball of energy. It's like like the sun, just like boom, bam. Put your hands together, make some noise from the other den. Like first and last. It's just first and last. Oh, no, you got first and last. You got the whole thing. Leah James! Yo, I need your music loud. I need it pumping.
Hello, my name is Leah James. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to be sharing a couple poems with you and then talking about my life. You're probably wondering, what is a white woman doing up here on this stage? Hopefully, you'll realize once you hear my poems why I'm here. The first poem I'm going to do is called Black, White, and Blue. So I hope you enjoy it. I remember my brother telling me that the police documented him as a light-skinned black man after stopping him from being at the wrong place at the wrong time. I also remember being 5 and the police telling my father to go take a walk after he just beat my mother to a pulp. I later learned why. Why would they incarcerate their supply? Someone who was white, someone on their side. We would drive through the projects late at night because that's where my family resides, and then suddenly the lights, red, white, and blue. Funny how they no longer symbolize freedom when they are flashing behind you, and even though I am white, he is black, and that changes everything. I've never been asked security number, where I was going, why I was there, or where I was born while being pulled over alone. No, officer. Stop. Are we not live?
Don't go nowhere.
They can see me though?
Let me call Jason.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. We're having some technical difficulties. Hold on. Can you hear me? Am I out there audio land, Zoom land, Instagram land, computer land, PC land, wherever land? Can you hear me land? Understand me land? Land. Oh shoot. We can call that.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Keep talking. No. Test.
Yeah. Talk.
Ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Yo, give me, pause, let's do it again. Yeah, I need some music. So wait, I want to introduce her again from the beginning, do a proper like. Can I get some music? Give me something like some. I need that feel that energy. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back to the stage. Make some noise for Leah James.
Some mistake kindness for being the fool. We like to be with some because they're funny. Others come around when you need some money.
Well, hello again. Welcome back. My name is Leah James, and we're going to start from the top because I don't know what happened. But, yeah. Okay, so this poem is called Black, White, and Blue. Are we good? We're good? Good. I remember my brother telling me the police documented him as a light-skinned black man after stopping him for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I also remember being 5 and the police telling my father to go take a walk after he just beat my mother to a pulp. I later learned why. Why would they incarcerate their supply, someone who was white, someone on their side? We would drive through the projects late at night, just me and my boo, because that's where our family resides. And then suddenly, the lights, red, white, and blue. Funny how they no longer symbolize freedom when they are flashing behind you. And even though I am white, he is black. And that changes everything. I've never been asked my social security number, current address, where I was going, why I was there, or where I was born while being pulled over alone. No, officer, I'm not looking for drugs. I'm just taking him home. I quickly learned how the hatred for blackness diminishes my so-called white worth, my white privilege covered in dirt when people find out that I'm the other type of white, the white girl who only dates black guys, who comes from a family filled with felons, tainted by a system built on racism designed to destroy futures rather than rehabilitate. See, where I'm from, only 15% of a population of 150,000 people are white, while the rest being black or Hispanic, incarceration rates are at an all-time high. But when you look at the statistics, the actual number of crimes committed don't match the number of people behind bars. It doesn't make sense when you read the statistics or simply just open your eyes. I remember my white coworker telling me that racism wasn't a thing anymore because our president was black. I laughed. Tell that to my friend who had a gun pointed to his back during a regular traffic stop by a policeman who told him that if he moved, he would shoot. My friend was black. Or to the men at the pizza shop who started calling me everything but my name when they found out that my best friend was a black man. Tell that to me because white wombs still birth black babies. This is a country where the one-drop rule may no longer be on the books from our racist ideology. It is not far removed. Tell that to the people with more melanin than I, whose safety does not exist in the presence of those who are supposed to serve and protect. This is not America, land of the free, red, white, and blue, let freedom ring. This is America, the land with foundation of chains. Black, white, or blue, may only two truly be free. And that was my song. But okay, so the second poem I'm gonna do is called Dear Black Man. And I often like to preface this poem a lot because of, well, just because. It's one of my favorite poems. And being a white woman in America, doing a poem called Dear Black Man is very controversial in and of itself due to the history of our country. So growing up, right, I'm from Joliet, Illinois, like I mentioned in my first poem. The population is only 15% white and the rest was literally black or Hispanic. And so I grew up around people who didn't look like me. And I never really understood that, like, why that was so controversial or that the rest of the country was not shaped in, like, the area that I lived in. So when I was 13, my mother died and I ended up moving to Hamilton, New Jersey, which is like the whitest place on earth that I've ever seen at that point in my life. So it was culture shock. And I started going to a high school where there was maybe 5 black kids in my graduating class, maybe 7, and the school was extremely racist. So as a white woman, I grew up very privileged in the sense where I didn't face racism the way that America is racist. It was almost like prejudice, being the other, being different in the crowd of people. But when I moved to Hamilton, New Jersey, I experienced racism. I saw racism for the first time. I saw people actually hating other people for the color of their skin. It was a cultural shock to me. And I feel like that in and of itself speaks to my white privilege, right? Because many people of color, many children of color grow up know what racism is, but I didn't. So my little white self moved to Hamilton, New Jersey, and I got called every type of name just for being friends with black kids. And I wrote this poem called Dear Black Man. Now, I wrote Dear Black Man and not Dear Black Woman because at that time of my life, every person who was a man in my life was black, excluding my biological brothers. And every time I would go out in public with a black man, it would always be some type of controversy. In the first poem I mentioned, there was a man in the pizza shop who started calling me, or sexualizing me, and started calling me all types of names just because I would go in with my black friend. But when I was with a black woman, that would never happen. So my innocent little naive self, I didn't understand why. So I started reading books and I started researching the history of this country and the over-sexualization of the black man and all of these things, and why people automatically assumed me to be some type of deviant just because of that. So I wrote this poem called Dear Black Man, and I hope you enjoy it. Dear Black Man, I am not staring at you because I think you are going to rob me. I promise I will not hold my purse tighter when you are around, nor lock my car doors just because you walk by. I cannot stop staring because your beauty is breathtaking. It reminds me of safety, of protector, of strength. Your melanin holds manuscripts of those who created dynasties birthed by queens who first populated this planet. Your melanin is magic. This is no Mandingo memoir, nor some type of sick fetish. You are no object, nor oversexed male. You are lover, friend. You are no thug. Let this serve as a reminder that your life matters more than just the people who look like you. I speak for the people who look like me, who may actually just be afraid to say it, that without you, there is no America, no so-called land of the free, where your equality is said to be subpar to even me. There is no revolution, no passion, no arts or music. There is no renaissance, no birth, no breath, no life, no me, no spoken word. You are the creator of good things. God's image is etched into your very being. Black man, you are no boy. The pavement was never meant to be your grave. Blood-splattered shirts were never meant to be your attire. Your smile was never supposed to fade. Your wings were never meant to be caged behind bars in a country that you helped build, symbolized by an eagle. Despite the hypocrisy, you forgive. Black man, it is okay to cry. I will cry with you. We will cry with you. Solidarity was never meant for the cold-hearted anyway. Let's leave the hate for the media and the lies that they spray. They spit on your character as though it were dirt in an attempt at making the blind see. They are no savior. They are serpents, poisoning society, lacing eyes shut to oppression, manipulating minds to make them think that the selling of young black men to the prison system is just a figment of our imagination. Black man, you are no slave, no convict, no criminal. You are brave. You are bold enough to face another day in a country that teaches that your face should be feared. Black man, I thank you for living, for being. Forgive the stares of strangers. They may be out of reverence, as in respect, as in awe of such a precious life. Black man, you matter. Black life matters. Thank you. My name is Leah James. Thank you for sticking with us through all the technical difficulties. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah.
Make some noise, put your hands together one more time for Leah James. I was like, you better give us some more poems. I want to hear some more poems. I want to hear some more poems. This is civil unrest. You need to let them know. You don't know what that means? We can't be friends. We can't be friends. Anyway, so I want to give a huge shout out and mention to Generation Verb. Generation Verb is the best. It's the bomb. Generation Verb is an organization that goes into high schools, middle schools throughout the New York area, helping teach students literacy through poetry, helping them be, using their words, using their voice. I had the pleasure of speaking and teaching with Generation Verb. I am currently right now what you call the Generation Verb ambassador. Is that correct? I'm the ambassador. Yeah, I'm the town hall ambassador. I'm the one that gets the party started. I'm the one that goes in there that makes the noise. I'm the one that goes in there and let everybody know Generation Verb. All right. So if you have a school that you want to bring poetry, you have a school in the New York area, even outside the New York area, you want your students to learn about literacy through poetry, giving them a voice. Because, I always say that Poetry is the foundation of all literary works. You cannot do anything without poetry. You can't write plays, you can't have your songs, you can't have your movies, you can't have, because poetry just encompasses all literary devices. That's it. Get some poetry in life. Generation Verb. All right, now back to the program. So, this next individual, oh shoot, I gotta do a poem, huh? This is the part I do a poem, right? When I do a poem, I keep going, right? No. Yeah? So this next individual comes to the stage. Awesome. I had the pleasure of traveling all the way to Puerto Rico. My sister from another mister, we was rocking out the Poet's Passage down in San Juan. We're gonna be doing some more things. Who knows what's next? Shh, top secret. You know what I do? So, come on the stage, make some noise. All the way from the other side of the room of the New Rican Poets Cafe. Put your hands together, all the way. Yo, DJ, I want some dope music. I want some good music. This is still Unrest. You're trying to get them started. I need some right music. Let's go. Make some noise for the Colin!
How y'all doing in the virtual universe? Hope this goes up. Does it go up? It does. Awesome. I'm a half memorized poet and a half reading poet, so that's what's happening. I always like to do this poem because it centers me, so here we go. C'est parler, moi pour parler, tant couillon et qu'au bois ou même, qui t'aime chercher, même j'en ou, pitié tout qui, perdu, qui seul. Guide Seigneur pour qu'à guider pied mon qui prend mauvais chemin bon manger bon capable nourrir mon qui grand acclame Guidem, Seigneur, pour qu'à guider, pied moi qui prend mauvais chemin, bon, manger bon, capable nourrir, mon qui grand. I dream in a language that feels like home. The words come to mind when I can't find the right ones in English, this language I learned first. The dance, the cadence that sways with my tongue. Le moi parler Creole. When I speak Creole, I have the voice of Haiti in my throat, thirsting to tell stories that may never be translatable, but will always end with hope. And for that, they will always be worth telling. They cut the son's head off in Cité Soleil, Haiti. Poverty bleeds internally there. She lives in the city of the sun. 5 children, husband dead, murdered for supporting Titi. They beat her, they stalk her, they be at her house. She beat them by hiding. She lives in the city of the sun, where she married again. Married a man who raped her daughter, ripped her heart more. 6 children, new baby, no money. She lives in the city of the sun, where water floods her home. Wade in the water, her family waits
in the water, in the city of the sun, where it seldom shines. So turn the sun on his pregnant belly over the horizon, birthing femmes haïtiennes, Haitian women, mountain women. Demon, behind the mountains are more mountains. Demon, like a million hills rolling before the sun. These women carry resistance in their sweats. They walk in worn shoes, calloused feet. Dark skin glistens in the noon sun. Veins map their hands. River water pumps through Hades' dry land as their stomachs empty. Sagging rests like eroded hillsides. The women carry water on their heads, water in their wombs, water off their floors. They are potomitan, center pillars holding a collapsed house while the sun breaks dawn like coconuts cracked open with machetes. These women, Bateneb, beat back the dark, turn the sun on his pregnant belly over the horizon, birthing a new day. Laugh the women, we are still here, and we run the book. Neighborhood watchers, be water our clothes on rocks, write secret messages in the money, be at water when the sun goes into labor, and you will see her. Anakaona. Golden flower hangs in the sky. Taino chief, thief, hangs for trying to negotiate peace with Columbus. These women rest in her story. Burning souls rest in her blazing sun. They cut the sun's head off in Cité Soleil, Haiti. These women birth a new one every day. Mountain women, militant mountains. Demon, behind the mountains are more mountains. Demon, like a million hills rolling before the sun. These women carry Haiti in their sweats. Okay, so we're gonna talk about civil unrest. We gotta talk about it internationally, right? It's a Pan-African dismantling white supremacy all over the world type of thing. So, okay. I wrote this poem last year. That's all I'm gonna say. It's called Magpie. I don't know how many generational demons I need to expel from my body. I just know that my mind has had enough exposure to death while black. The kind found on postcards, rope around a neck, or on a cell phone laying on the pavement. I'm never confused about where the violence comes from. But I have a perpetual longing that makes chiffonade out of my spirit. Tired of holding the same words in my mouth and expected to keep this some kind of equanimity. Yesterday, I sprinkled red pepper flakes on the soil of my seedlings to guard them against the squirrels, render my plants atrocious to their senses. Last summer, the appearance from my pail left me with nothing but dirt. But what is there to protect my body, or my loves, or my children's, or my father's? And yesterday, I wanted to rejoice with my recovering mother about her walk with my dad in their neighborhood, but all I could think about was a black man jogging, his body smitten with bullets. It happens so often, this disregard for black life. I'm almost convinced that to make it home, to sleep the whole night through, to play, to pray, to celebrate, to exist while black has more to do with serendipity than my own God-given right to live. Racism is a ferocious beast that prowls incessantly, and I just want to know how to be redeemed from its claws. Nothing I would appreciate more than to know my body without its mark, not to conform, but to be infatuated with the beauty of my skin and describe it as safe at the same time. When I was growing up, we lived on a dead end. Sometimes I'd go and stand there at the edge, look at the creek separating two ends of the same road. I never did try to jump over. I just wondered why no one ever thought to build a bridge. Seems like some folks' intentions are to keep some things dead. So I've decided every day that I'm alive, my body will be draped in resilience, fists raised, knee bent, my mouth a magpie of words shouting at the world. Okay. I hope y'all doing all right in the virtual universe. We doing all right in this room.
We doing all right in this room.
Okay.
It's good in this room.
Okay. I'm gonna do 2 more poems. This poem is called A Drop in the Ocean. It's called a glossa. That's the form I use. A glossa is when you take 4 lines from another poem, which is a quatrain, and then you use each of the 4 lines as the last line in 4 stanzas. And each stanza is 10 lines. So 10 line stanzas, last line is a line from the quatrain, if you want to try it out. The 4 lines that I use are from a poem called Alone by Maya Angelou, and they read, lying thinking, last night, how to find my soul a home where water is not thirsty. Here's the poem. When quiet still saturates the air in the early morning, I feel all the remnants of a fight in my body. I open the curtains wide, let the light in. Sometimes I am my mother's child, a strong Black woman holding the day by its throat. But for this small voice, lying, thinking, I can't do it all. I am afraid how fragile the body crumbles under tight lungs, or yesterday's news of bodies like mine. I don't know if it was out of need or out of habit that I prayed for strength when I went to bed last night. And I don't remember the first time someone called me strong, whether it was a compliment or training for how to be a Black woman. This body came with no instructions. Every day I find a new ache. Every poem is an exercise on how to find my soul a home, with permission to break, to curl into, to cry, to throw rage against the walls, to be a full moon and empty craters, a field of lavenders tilting its neck in the breeze. That kind of strength that ain't got to be strong all the time. I be a drop in the ocean where water is not thirsty. And this poem, this poem is called For Every Black Woman Who Has Been Called Angry.
Yay.
Yeah. I've been trying not to be an angry Black woman. I've been trying not to be an angry Black woman. Make sure I smile a little in public. Seems like the understanding is that our facial expressions do not lend to other emotions, that the fears we stay ready to start commotion just because. Like there are no reasons to be Black, a woman, and angry at the same time. So don't you know on most days I turn my smile into a protest, but the rest is a crooked upwards battle. I've been trying to rise like Maya's dust every time there's some bitter, twisted lies. Been trying to be Black girl magic without a spell to conjure over this hurt, this pain, this rolled up thunder pressed between my ears. I've been trying to sew invisibility cloaks to drape around my children for protection, only to find out they invisible already without protection. Been trying to tell my daughters to not be angry, that sass might get you sass, that kissing the pavement ain't better than going home. They will say, you had too much attitude. Refuse to see your smile pressing through from behind your teeth, the world on your shoulders like the mule you are. They will wonder how you made it anyhow, how somehow they haven't killed you yet, being angry and all. Ain't that the point? That Harriet Tubman had to be an angry Black woman. That Sojourner Truth had to be an angry Black woman. That Assata Shakur had to be an angry Black woman. That Rosa Parks had to be an angry Black woman. That Shirley Chisholm had to be an angry Black woman. That Coretta Scott King had to be an angry Black woman. That Fannie Lou Hamer had to be an angry Black woman. That Betty Shabazz had to be an angry Black woman. And ain't that the point? That I have every right To be angry about our trees cut down the roots, left there naked in the sun, about history being his story one too many times, about the corrections to my language my tongue was already cut out, about gentrification, about discrimination, about appropriation of my culture, about bullets spraying like a carnival game on victims with no weapons, about being called everything but my name, Mammy, Jezebel, Ratchet, bitch, about the prison industrial complex, about this reflection someone put in a mirror that ain't my own. I have every right to break the glass. This anger ain't yours to police, ain't yours to cage up like a bird, ain't yours, is the point. I've been trying not to be an angry Black woman. Truth is, I ain't trying no more. And you're gonna be glad one day. I said you're gonna be glad one day I was angry enough to change the world. Thank y'all. My name is D. Colin.
I'm out with the robot moves. I'm gonna get funky with it.
Give it to him.
Nah. I might break the waves out there. Y'all ain't ready for that heat. Y'all ain't ready for that. This is civil. Y'all know that we can't be friends. So I want to give a shout out to another organization that made this possible. Creole Stars Media. Creole Stars Media is actually this beautiful, well-written paragraph that explains what Creole Stars Media is. I can articulate it, but however, when I come back, I will. But they have brought to y'all some great productions like Her Story and The Male Ego. And I can't wait for y'all to get a chance to see. Some of y'all probably saw The Male Ego before, but when it comes back again, I'm gonna be a part of that. Trust me. What part I'm gonna be a part of that? I ain't gonna tell y'all. Top secret. All that's top secret. So we're gonna keep this going on. So we're gonna give y'all some poetry. This is Silver Unrest. Y'all supposed to be like getting. So y'all probably wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting this. It's about to happen right now. Y'all about to see some dual, double trouble magic. Yeah. Ready? Let's go. They ain't ready for this. They wasn't ready for this one. Ooh, y'all wasn't ready for this one. Ooh, groupies. So, yeah, we're gonna just, phone explain itself. Yeah, I mean, you got this. All right, ready? All right. Whatever happens. You got it. We did this so many times before, already. So we're good. Yeah, professionals. Don't try this at home.
I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white. He always won the fight. Bang, bang. He shot me down. Bang, bang. I hit the ground. Bang, bang. That awful sound. Bang, bang. My baby shot me down.
My father was the worst photographer in the world. He tried to crop a headshot of my mom with a gun aimed at her face. He spoke the love of my mom through the barrel of a cannon. Funny thing is, guns and cameras are too much alike. No, seriously, guns and cameras are too much alike. You point, aim, shoot, they both fire. One keeps memories, the other takes them away. Let me ask you, who has more bang, a 9mm or a 35? It all depends on the subject's appointment target. Cops are trained to use guns. They're quick to point and shoot through the camera. Might be quick to point and refocus, notice. They both have the same ability to keep you framed. One behind glass, the other under wood. Interesting. Coffins and picture frames are made of glass but mostly wood. At the age 5, I never understood why my father thought a gun should be used as a camera. Every time I heard someone say cheese, all I could do was freeze. Camera, lights, flash, fast forward, 17. All I had to do is take this self-portrait. I had a 9mm in my temple. I tried to undevelop myself outside the dark room of my mom's womb, non-existence. I thought I could stop this domestic violence, my absence camera. As you can see, I survived. Lights, like a Polaroid being exposed to light. I'm still developing. Flash, 27, I desire to take the role of being a model. Funny thing is, to this day, I do not own a camera or a gun. The closest thing owned to a weapon is a cell phone. I once flirted with suicide. Every time I took a selfie, what type of role model am I? Photographer's a camera. I give another. Tell me, have you ever been in a photo shootout? Photographer says cheese. All you do is freeze. Flashing lights. Give me flashlights. Give me flashback. I guess PTSD of my father putting his hands on my mother. I had no camera. I grabbed my toy gun. My toy gun had no bang. Why did my gun have no effect? I guess at age 5, Photoshop was not invented yet. Guns, cameras are too much alike. They both keep frozen in animation. One on page, the other on pavement. They say a picture of 1,000 words. Tell me, who does a Polaroid say when it's undeveloped? It's hard to talk when the shutter's spinning and your throat is stuck on high. Most kids grew up being afraid of the dark. I grew up being afraid of the lights. Despite the fact it was a smile, here's my father says cheese, all this freeze. Not knowing I'm posing for a family portrait on my own obituary.
Bang, bang, that awful sound, bang, bang, my baby shot me down.
That's how you do it, yes. Boom, boom. Civil arrest, civil arrest. So I hope you're out there in virtual world, wherever land, TV land, sit back land, couch land, understand your land. Hope you're having a good time. So coming up next to the stage, another brother of another mother. Dope. Bro. It's like Wakanda, baby. Yo, DX. It's crazy out there. So this guy, like his resume speaks for himself. Not only is he a poet, actor, you teach too, right? He's a teacher, activist. He does everything. He's everything. You probably be chefing it up too, huh? You might be in the kitchen, like. So make some noise. Come to the stage. Yo, DJ, I need you to do him right. Do him right. Cue the music. Make some noise out there for D Black!
I am a homophobe, but I can't tell you how to love. I am a transphobe, but I can't tell you who you are. I believe that sexuality is rooted in biology, but I cannot tell you how to feel. Please, pardon me. I am just trying to own it. I'm jealous that I had to deal with bullying and now there's national campaigns against it. And yes, Some masculinity is toxic, and I'm guilty for taking part in it. I spend overtime condemning hearts when it's really saving souls that should be my focus. Please, pardon me. I am just trying to own it. My inner child, still scarred, covering up the ears to my heart. Somewhere between public policy and people's privacy, I keep getting stuck at that part. We all come from different walks of life, and I think I speak for all of us when I say that walk has been hard. Please, pardon me. I am just trying to own it. Peace, family. Peace, civil unrest. My name is David Roberts. I'm an actor, spoken word artist. In spoken word, I go by the name D Black. Tonight, for my contribution to civil unrest, I'll be discussing the themes of sexuality, sex, and gender. I'll do my best not to offend. Please ride the wave and listen with open hearts and open minds. I believe that most, if not all, civil unrest begins with the self. So with that being said, the name of this piece is entitled ? Exclamation point. I never thought that Prince was gay, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had some thoughts. Because you can only push the human brain's envelope but so far before it starts creating its own plots. You know, subconscious giving you ideas that you didn't even want there. Something like, damn, that's even look cute. What the hell am I saying? Subconscious on autopilot, taking me to the uninhibited. It's not fun when your brain runs away with you and you're not the one in the driver's seat. You lack confidence in what you are, your brain will tell you what you're not. To be or not to be an everyday question with other questions after that. No one ever told me that me being me would ever be brought to question. But when you have doubts, there's always one thing that you can always be certain. Not fitting in don't feel fun. Doubt builds shame, anxiety stirs up. I wish I knew not facing my bullies back when I was younger would come back to haunt me, stunting my growth and for me getting older. That shame can trigger demons. Those demons can trigger trauma. That trauma can start to fester. That fester can turn to monsters. A shy guy who stayed inside and got cheated on sometimes made me start to think that, maybe there's something wrong with my mind. But pressure busts pipes. Then makes diamonds. I tell my trauma, I'm shining. Thoughts can be so deceiving. We are more than our thoughts, and some of our thoughts ain't even ours. When it comes to my CEO, God is who my boss is. I was never taught that what I want could be eroticized. I was never taught my masculinity comes in only one size. I was never taught society's standards are not my pride. I was never taught that sometimes my thoughts are not God's. And God don't make mistakes. But we often mistake our interpretation for what he makes. And I don't have all the answers, but I have what suffice for me. So with my understanding and my thoughts, please, just let me be. Peace. The name of this piece is entitled Construct. Masculinity is a social construct! But so is language. So are words. So are the letters coming out of my mouth to be heard. When did social construct become the devil? Toss out the baby with the bathwater because it's not inclusive of all people. How did we get here? Where? If we're not all free, then nobody can be. Soon being happy will be deemed as offensive. The trauma of marginalization forces the need for answers, but biology is not the oppressor. Just respect people's choices and accept that we differ. Can you imagine erasing all constructs? It'd be like, just picture it. 1 million pregnant women suing 1 million men because they refuse to make child support payments. The verdict is not guilty, you see, because their psychiatrists believe that they suffer from parental phobia. Parental phobia is when you fear taking care of children even though you still made them. You remove social constructs, just make way for new ones. And since sexuality is now a social construct too, we can just remove the main purpose of sex and focus on the psychological. But this isn't true. Parental phobia isn't real. But since there's no more social constructs, let's say goodbye to the court system. And let's say goodbye to laws. And let's say goodbye to poems. And let's say goodbye to words. And since there's no more words, it's just... How about we do a better job basing social constructs on a better substance? How about we identify ourselves with more than our thoughts and our attractions? How about, rather than tossing the baby out the window, throwing the biology out of the window? How about we stop fighting it and we fight a whole lot harder to build a better relationship with Mother Nature that we can't get away from? Peace. For my last piece, it's simply entitled, Sex, May I Have a Word with You? Hello? Sex? Hi. My name is David Roberts, aka D Black, with Intercourse Magazine. Oh, you're familiar with us? Well, thanks. Keep subscribing. and I'd like to have a word with you about you. It's come to my understanding that there's a need for reprimanding. You've been defined in ways that lack full comprehending. First, let me commend you on all that you've done. Without you, we die off, and history wouldn't move on. But there seems to be confusion amongst the general union between what you provide and what you are. In my conclusion, we've objectified you, simplified you, made you into a drug, used you for self-esteem, used you for meaningless things. You can be used for affection, self-esteem, a means of coping, and for stress relieving. I tell you, Sex, you really are one good stress reliever, boy. You really... But these all come second to the legacy you've presented, and I feel that it's you that we've misconstrued. You're now the equivalent of a handshake, the new way to say hi, the initial way to get to know somebody. But my question to you is, why? You've been defined by some as the highest form of affection, but then defined by others as second place to hugging and kissing. Sex, you're universal, but your current definition isn't. We've taken advantage of you, making you whatever fits into our narrative. We fell in love with your sensations. We don't want to focus on your function. We took you a beautiful gift and just made a big mess out of you. You've been confused with intimacy, confused with affection, confused with intercourse, and anything that causes an erection. We need to put some more respect in your name, damn it! After all, you're... Sex! Oh, we can't tell you what you are. And for centuries, I thought we always knew that. But times have changed and words have evolved. But to what extent do we have the right to re-explain a phenomenon? Sex? I don't want to hit on you, but you're pretty incredible. I'm sorry. I'm being rude. Did you want to make a comment? Peace, family. Thank you so much for your time. Hope I didn't offend anybody. Have a wonderful 2022. D-Black out.
Make some little time for D Black. Yo, I can't get the music.
It's all good, man.
Yo, y'all get the music, bro.
It's all
He
good.
just pressed the stage. Hope y'all enjoying yourselves. I'm enjoying myself. If I had not said it, I'm gonna say it now. I already said it, but I'm gonna say it again, because y'all need to understand. This would not be possible without the LMCC, Lower Manhattan Cultural Council. They have been making spaces for artists and community since 1973. They did a bomb. Lower Manhattan Cultural Council has been recognizing artists in New York City and is the cultural life force in Lower Manhattan. Remember in Star Wars Episode 7? There's an awakening in the force. That's LMCC. That's them. So without them, this would not be possible. So thank you to Lower Manhattan Cultural Council and in the New York Poets Cafe. I hope y'all enjoying yourselves. I'm enjoying myself. But you gotta go out with a bang. You gotta give you one more poem. You gotta do this right. So this is, I told you what it is. It's civil unrest. Y'all should be upset. Y'all should be disrupting the environment. Grab a trash can, throw it through the TV, throw it through no. I'm not here to promote violence, and I ain't here to do anything, because I want y'all, don't do any of that. Don't do any of that, because next thing you're gonna say, midnight told me to throw a trash can through the front window of someone's house. Now, I ain't tell you to do that. But I'm telling you to make some noise. Speak up when you see something unjustly wrong. You see something, say something. But we're talking about social injustice. We're talking about civil unrest. And, there won't be no equality unless something actually happens. There's like a major shift in the paradigm. Something like this. An open letter to aliens who want to visit planet Earth. Do not ever come here! There's a force hiding behind a brass shield, put here to serve and protect. but they wrongly imprison us every chance they get. There's a force dividing dark skin from light. No, I am not talking about Star Wars. This is no Jedi mind trick. Luke, I am not your baby daddy. Do not ever come here. There was a Tuskegee you. My people know the first-hand experience. Your first contact will be your last. We will stop and frisk in every corner of our cloud. We'll interrogate your resistance. We'll stand the ground and put you in it. We'll shoot first, never ask questions later. Ah, shucks. I hate that one. I forget it. Wait, I know I have Kayo. That's right. You were from Men in Black. You flashed that memory wand. That's okay. I was prepared for this. I was the rest of my palm. Do not ever come here unless you come here with a bunch of little soldiers looking like Mario the Martian carrying. Oh my goodness. It's the Iridium Q36 explosive space modulator. I mean, nothing more than a science experiment unless you come here with an infinite supply of oil. Then we will embrace you. George Bush and Dick Cheney will come out of retirement. Their personally signed intergalactic peace treaties will learn and see your ways. Right before you Native American you make offensive slurs about your culture, we'll call you predator, body snatcher, Star Trek Kardashians. Not to be associated with Kim, but hey, she could be an alien too. We make news films about you. Wait, newsflash, we already did. No, the movie ends. We win, you lose, ha ha ha. Do not ever come here. We are the central universe way of thinking. Every alien movie is our Independence Day, and you're District 9. The next line might sound crazy, but you come here might save my human skin. Your existence will give us perseverance for once. Look at me as more than 3/5 of human. For once, they'll find a new alien to hang in Mississippi. Your living quarters be concentration camps. Don't be church and cross they burn in the South. It'll be X-Wing fighter jets. If you come here, we will exploit you, make alien dating hotlines, and Captain James T. Kirk from the 70s be the spokesman. Are you looking for hot, interesting, extraterrestrial sex? Call now, me and Bones will take you to your candy shop. Listen, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a club promoter. Do not ever come here. Scientologists market you. Make bumper stickers that read WWBD. What will Vader do? Egyptian tiles that build more pyramids. The eminent domain you. You're not even safe for gentrification. As much I don't want to come here, a small part of me does. Me, green the Vulcan peace sign. Me, a misconstrued meaning. Me represents. May one race. Live long enough so the other can prosper. Y'all be safe out there. Protect yourselves. Yo, this is Unrest. Good night. Make some noise. Maybe Police Cafe. Generation Verb. Girl Charles Media. Lord Mahan. Cultural Council. Yeah. There's an awakening in the force. Y'all gonna wake up. Civil unrest. That's how we do it. Yo, DJ, can I get some music?
Look, if being black is so wrong, then I don't want to be right. Peace.
Y'all be safe. This is how we do it. Take care.